Hello, hello. Welcome back to another episode of Flip the Script with Vic. It's your host, Victoria Nielsen. I am always so excited to be here with you guys, but the woman I have on today has been one of my dear friends and one of my co-Kundalini business ladies since about 2021. And Lindsay Walter, we have so much in common, but you have also grown so much since we started our friendship back in the days of signing online for this business program. And then we became accountability buddies. And
Mhm.
I thought it was so neat that we both worked in the Akashic Records, but that you had no, like, you were not like, oh, this is mine. Like, I'm the only one that could talk about the Akashic Records. You were very open and we're like, hey, like, let's chat together. Let's do this together. And I really appreciated that. And now you have grown to do wellness with your husband. You guys have Walter Wellness together, and you just opened a mobile refillery where you guys live in Michigan. You're doing all the things. Like, holy cow, lady, you're doing it.
All of the things. And one thing I want to touch back on the Akashic Records, because you talk it, I walk it, we both do. The Akashic Records is for everyone. Everyone has the ability to tap into their Akashic Records, that deep inner knowing, that wake up call, and that deep, deep guidance. And I know that it has fueled changes and evolutions in your life the way that it has mine. I've even sent my husband Dan to you for readings because I think sometimes, when things are so close to you, it doesn't seem as authentic to the person being read for. Dan and I know each other so incredibly intimately as husband and wife that when he was going through something and just needed that guidance and was just reaching kind of like grabbing at straws or whatever people say, I was like, I'm going to make an appointment with Victoria because she's going to give you the guidance from your Akashic records that is going to be exactly what you need. And of course it was. It was
I love
life
that.
changing. I mean, it was truly life changing. He took, I mean, with the Akashic records, it's a lot of times an affirmation, right?
Yes.
We
It's
already
very
know.
simple. It's very simple and it'll speak in terms that you know. People think it's like,
Yes.
I don't know, this Christ-like voice like coming down from the heavens. And I don't know, that's not how I experience it.
Yes. Oh, exactly. And so when Dan was finished with his session with you, first of all, he felt more grounded. He felt better. He felt affirmed in the way he was feeling, in what he was going through, and also what he needed to do to get himself out of that space. And thank you for that. And this is
Well, thank
why
you for that
it's,
reflection.
yes, and that's why it's such a gift. And of course, why we share it. Those who get it, those who know, and
And the Akashics just kind of started your journey, right? Or what came
yes.
first, I guess I should say, like the Akashic records or your spiritual awakening?
No, that was the catalyst.
Yep.
That was the complete catalyst because I was in my own dark place. I was in, um, you know, a hard place in life, in home, in everything, and was struggling for balance. That is the word of my life because not only was I struggling and found the right tools, but now when I find myself in places of struggle or darkness, I'm like, why am I not using my tools? Why are you, this is why you are where you are.
Isn't it
Grab
funny though
those
how that
tools.
happens? Like as
Yes.
healers, we need to remind ourselves, like use your own tools. And I want to
Yes.
normalize that because I think, sometimes people think they have to be perfect or be put on this pedestal and they have to always make the right choice, but we're human too. And sometimes we
Yes.
get off our own path. Sometimes forget, we don't really forget, but we get caught up, in life
Mhm.
and in everything, and we need to be reminded, hey, you have these tools and you can use them.
And also, the tools are free.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. You don't need to buy another course. You don't need to like go do another thing. Like use what you already have in your toolkit.
Well, and that's where people like you and people like me, that's what our purposes are, right? That's where we exist in this world, in this very moment. And I truly believe, I see everything that you do and I'm in awe. And like, I just always like, what's Vic up to? I'm gonna go on the internet and see because
Well,
your
I'm doing the same,
evolutionary
sister.
yeah.
So
Oh, you leaving corporate, I'm like, this is a new person. Your energy, your light, your bright. It's just amazing. It's been wonderful to watch as friends. And, we always send each other little DMs. We slide into our DMs and say, like, sister, I see you and I'm loving everything and bravo. And it's wonderful what we have.
and it's so
But
important that women recognize one another in that way because to be seen by another woman, whew, that almost feels
exactly.
better than like being seen sometimes by, your partner or
Yeah.
by, other men or just others. It's like when a woman sees you, it's like when a queen to a queen, you're like,
Yes.
damn,
Well, that's why they
damn.
say girls dress for girls.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, we do. We
We
do.
put it on for girls because we'll be walking in the street and we'll be like, earrings.
Yeah.
I see
See that
those.
that little tiny little detail that you put in there, like I
Yeah.
see that.
I see that and I love you and that mwah,
Oh
yes,
my
and it's amazing
gosh.
when you can do that. But that's where you and I are in this world because we are the healers, we're the teachers, we're the ones who help to lift that energy. And like I just said, our tools are free, but we're the ones that help you to learn to use the tools. We're those guides, those teachers in our human form in this lifetime, in this now moment,
Yeah, I think it's an
helping.
important delineation, right? Because we've had so many lifetimes in so many different moments. And they want me to talk about kind of star families and soul contracts, if that feels aligned to you, because I
Yeah,
definitely believe that we are of a same star family and definitely have some kind of soul contract. And I think for people, you hear some of the common soul contracts, right? I think of like twin flame and of, soulmate, or
yeah,
just that you have some kind of karmic thing with a person, but there are like dozens of different kinds of contracts and different kinds
oh,
of relationships and different kinds of means that we're meant to interact with one another.
absolutely. And they're not meant to always be for your entire life.
Yes.
And I think that that is something that can be a very hard lesson for people to learn because there can be someone that gives such an amazing impact, positively or negatively, on your life that could be there in a span of years, months. When we say, oh, we feel this connection, and then maybe the connection goes, and there's, of course, can be a grief over that. It's so important just to realize and to remember, like, and have gratitude for that
Absolutely.
person.
Because yeah, you're nothing is forever. And I feel like it's beautiful to talk about after the full moon that we just experienced because
Yes.
this to me was another shed. We've been like
Oh,
shedding since 2020. I feel like it's like shedding and shedding some more. And I feel like that we as women right now actually need to continue to do that and continue to ground in. I know we talk about being like light workers, and I see the radiance in you and I see the light in you. And I want to talk about that as well because I've seen that shift. I think you're no longer doing massage therapy, right? You've walked
yeah, this
away
is
from some things.
my
But
last month and I'm wrapping it up. I'm putting a beautiful bow of gratitude on that journey and sending her free.
see, but you have to make space for what's coming next, right? And
Yes.
I think you can see it in just your energy looking at you right now. Like you are radiant and you are lighter, but guess what? You had to let go to get there.
Yes.
And
Yes.
that's really hard for people.
Yeah. And talking about the soul, we talk about shedding, but people also say, I can feel it in the inner depths of my soul. So don't be afraid to shed. You're not going to lose all the layers of your onion and then come to the core. It's important to find that core, but it's also okay to know that the shedding is so necessary. And again, with the full moon that we experience, this whole week is coming home to you in the biggest way. And today is even like, and I'm not an astrology, guru, so I'm not going to get into things, but I do pay attention. But it is such a coming home and knowing and releasing what is meant to be. And yesterday, I was doing my daily tarot and I was doing all of my things in the morning as Dan, my husband, was trying to get ready for work. And I looked at him and I said, today's the day I say goodbye to massage. We're done. That energy, that last vestige of energy, I released it with the full moon. And as soon as I did that, yesterday alone, I booked 2 workshops, a pop-up, a speaking gig, and something else.
Holy
I booked
shit.
5 things yesterday. Yeah.
I'm so
Yeah.
stoked for you.
It was amazing. It was amazing. It was that releasing,
Mhm.
to speak it, to know it, to breathe it, to exhale it out with gratitude. I mean, I really, really, truly, I texted Dan and I was like, I had a talk with the universe and she and I are so good. And she is seeing me where, oh, I booked another Akashic Records gig. That's what it was.
Yeah.
So, 2, actually. I booked 2. So,
Isn't it wild though when you walk through that fear and you think you're like, oh, okay, I'm getting rid of this income that has been steady income that I know I can rely on. I don't know if something is going to come next. Okay, but could it be better than you even thought? Could it
well,
actually
and
be
that
more than you even thought? Could you walk a different path? Is there, I think that's a really beautiful message right now to remind people like, open your eyes to what's opening up to you because it may not be the path that you originally thought you were going to take, but it's a path that is meant for you if it's calling in your heart, even just a tiny bit, even
yeah,
just a little bit. I feel like, was that what the refillery was for you? Was that like a calling tiny in your heart that kind of grew louder and louder and louder until you just couldn't ignore it anymore?
100%. 100%. I was actually, I mean, I've been thinking there's another gal in our little Kundalini group, Heather, who started a refillery in
Yes, yeah, yeah, yeah.
California.
Golden Triangle.
Golden Triangle. And I absolutely loved her idea. She first started it as a mobile business, went brick, and I think she's mobile again, brick and mortar. And I've always just from afar said, girl, I love this. I am so like non-toxic, sustainably, made and sourced in my own home as much as possible while giving myself that grace that no one's perfect. But it dropped in while I was on the massage table talking to my girlfriend who's my massage therapist. We do trades. And I just started talking through it. And there's a refillery that I go to, but I live in kind of remote northern Michigan. I live where people come to play. So I get to live in the beautiful area all the time. However, what that means is in my tiny town, I cannot buy underpants. Like you have to go to the places,
It's
you
like me
know?
growing up in Key West. We had like a Kmart basically, and that was it.
Yes,
If you
we
wanted like
had
a
a
Target
Kmart.
or anything, like you had to go
Yes,
hours.
we had a Kmart and the Kmart closed.
Ours did too. I'm pretty sure.
My lovely underpants walked away from so
My goodness.
now I drive an hour, 20 minutes at the least to another tiny town, but my booming metropolis that is Traverse City, Michigan is an hour south of me. All you winos know because it's a great, beautiful place for wine. But I would go to this refillery and I loved it. They had 2 locations, but that doesn't mean that my time and my open hours aligned with their open hours. And
Oh
I
yeah, yeah,
just
yeah.
couldn't get there. So I was talking to my friend. I'm on the table because I don't drift off. I let my
Yammer.
body
Oh my gosh, no,
relax.
I want to be left alone. Like, please.
Oh, I wish I could, but I'm more like murder me. So that's not gonna, I'm not gonna fall asleep. But we were talking about it, and I was kind of just venting my frustrations about not having such non-toxic and especially sustainably made and sourced products made in the US available anywhere, and that I couldn't just get there, and then I was forced to go to the grocery store and get the best that I could get in a plastic jug. And I was lamenting.
Yeah.
And so I was like, well, so you feel a need. You answer a call, you answer a question, and you feel a need. And as we talked it, I was like, well, I could do this, and I could do this, and I could make this, and I could do this. And my friend is just laughing because she knows my brain.
Right? It's like it's
And
already spinning. It's already happening.
oh, I created a whole business, and inside about 10 minutes on the table, And I was like, so yeah, I guess I just started a new business. And she's like, did that just happen in real time? I said, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
That's when you're in flow, when you're aligned. And actually, I love this example with the massage as well because you're moving fascia, you're moving energy out of your body,
yes,
you're talking things out. Like it's all an energetic exchange. And honestly, that's why I believe more people should get massages because you need that body work. You need to get that energy, I mean, like physically out of your body.
yeah,
But what a beautiful way to like have something flow and land through you during that time. And it can be that simple, ladies and men, I guess, if
yes,
you're listening, but
yeah,
it can be that simple if you are in tune with yourself, if you are in tune with also how your mind works, because I feel like you're using your own energy to your advantage, right?
yes.
And that's a beautiful thing because you're a projector also, aren't you?
I'm a manifesting generator.
Oh, no wonder.
Yeah,
No wonder. So you're harnessing all of these million ideas. Well, you're supposed to start them and pass them off,
that's
but
what I do. Well,
yeah,
and then I end up doing it myself when I can't find anyone else to do it.
we got to fix that. We got to fix that. All right. Anyone listening, if you need a business idea,
Yeah,
Lindsay can probably give you the
call me.
business idea. Call
And then
her.
you just take it. Just take it. I'm busy.
I know because if you really think about it, all of the different businesses that you're running, because you've also got Walter Wellness,
Yes.
and it's amazing. I really want to actually talk about that because I think you and Dan have such a beautiful relationship, and I think you support one another, but also he has his own kind of spirituality that he really
Yeah.
leans into. How how did that come about? How is it working with him? Because I know some people in like saying, "Oh, I'm going to work with my spouse," would immediately cringe. Me, I love my husband, but do not need to work with him.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah, how's it going? How did it come about? Tell us more.
Yeah. Well, we can work together, but we cannot move furniture together. That's our rule.
Got it.
That's the thing that cannot be done.
Yeah. You know your boundaries, and
That's
that's important.
yes. It's a learned boundary, but we get there. But so Dan is an alcoholic and he was on his own men's retreat. Gosh, we're coming up on 2 years ago. And he was really just, and this was in the same time that he had his reading with you, and he was going through just a traumatic loss and wasn't feeling well. First of all, he was not home with himself, and he wasn't physically feeling well. And he felt very called to go on this men's retreat. And I said, please go, do, be. And this beautiful place that really felt safe for him. So he went, and on the Saturday at one of the points of the day, they did like a 3 hour just alone time, solo journeying. And he grabbed his crystals and he grabbed his journal and he sat in the woods and he's like, okay, I built this altar. I have my journal. I don't I don't know what I'm going to write. I don't know what to do. So he just called in his guides and he asked for guidance. He said, I don't know what I'm supposed to write. Can you help to start to flow through me with your guidance? And he said, I put pen to paper and I wrote a goodbye letter to alcohol.
That's it.
And he quit cold turkey then and there.
Wow.
And he has not looked back since. And it's amazing. And I had had my own similar breakup with alcohol. I don't struggle with alcoholism personally, but it just doesn't like my body. I
No,
love,
honestly, I anymore, I really don't. The last
yeah,
time I had a glass of wine, I woke up and felt sick the next day. Actually, I got nauseous in the car and threw up. And I
yeah,
literally had only had like one glass of wine the night before. It was crazy.
yes, yes. So, and it was one of those things that I was like, this isn't for me.
No, it doesn't feel good anymore. It doesn't serve me. Like,
Yes,
there's no reason to continue this. And you're not alone. I feel like there's so many of my friends that are now sober curious or not even
yeah,
labeling it. Like we joked in my Queen of Hearts group that we were like accidental, like we're accidentally sober, and it was
yes.
kind of like, okay, we'll just see how long it goes for. Like, we're not gonna try and
Oh,
hold ourselves to anything, but I think most of
yeah.
us have not drank since then.
Yes, absolutely. Well, I basically that Thursday before he went on his retreat. I woke up, I'd had a cocktail the night before with a girlfriend out to dinner and woke up hungover and I had to cancel clients. I was so ill. And I was like, I'm done.
Yeah, this is
This
costing me
isn't,
money. This is costing
yeah,
me my
this is,
livelihood.
yes. And so he was like, cool. And then he came home and he was like, I said goodbye to alcohol. And it was one of those, and I really want to put in this caveat. Our sobriety is our story, and we have zero judgment over
Absolutely.
anyone's lifestyle, anyone's choices.
Well, and the cutting the cold turkey too. That was Dan's journey. Like,
That was
that
his,
may not be your journey. I don't necessarily recommend to do that unless you
yeah.
have support, but he had
Oh,
support. So,
yes, yes. And actually, when they had gone back into the circle, in those retreats, you don't really say much once you've left that sacred space. But what he did share was that he shared with the group, and that he had said goodbye, and they were just making sure that he had support. And he's like, actually, my wife just did the same thing. So through that, we started to heal. We started to heal ourselves physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. He went through his own huge healing journey, and we found
like, did you notice a
ourselves
couple? Not that you had rifts before at all, but like, did you notice that there was cracks that you didn't even know had been there? And now that there was no alcohol, there was no anything, like things were glaring, or it was more like, ooh, okay, we better fix this before it gets bad.
right. So we have already gone through so much as a couple. We've been together for 7 years, married for one, and we had already gone through
The ringer. Yeah.
the ringer. That's the way that I know that Dan is my ultimate person, is because we just can't quit each other. It's like there have been so many easy outs,
Yeah. Which you make
and
each other better, which is a really beautiful thing.
we do, and we love each other so much in a very healthy, non-codependent. We know that we are very standalone independently, that we can live on our own 2 feet, but we choose to come back together all the time. And when we've had really, like those really difficult talks of this isn't working, this isn't working talks, I, I always say, I want I want to break up with this relationship, and I want to, you know, devote myself to you again. I love you so much, but I want to break up with this,
Yeah.
leave it in the past, not bring it up again. Let's heal from this, let's move on.
Yeah.
And not in a way that we're like stuffing, but in a like, let's talk about this, let's
Yeah.
put this to bed, and let's just like, redevote ourselves. We have done that.
Absolutely. You have to though. Like and
Yes.
it happens over and over again. And it's hard. That's probably why the divorce rate is so fucking high because it's
Yeah.
hard. It's hard to have to
Yes.
choose one another over and over again. But when you find that person that's worth doing that, because
Oh,
let
yeah.
me just say, guys, you are here to grow and learn and expand and evolve. So if the person that you're
Yes.
with isn't doing that for you in a healthy way, isn't helping you do that in a healthy way, I'm just going to leave that out there as a question of like, do you want to do something about that? Because
Yeah.
life, yes, can be very challenging when you're in those kinds of relationships, but also very rewarding and very fulfilling and can help you get through a lot of the stuff that you're meant to learn here on earth and that you're meant to experience. Because
Yeah.
kind of coming back to those Akashic records, right? Like you come here for a reason and you come here not remembering that reason and having to go through all of these things to get back to that place, but you chose that. You
Yep.
chose to do that here right now in an earthly body because that's the only way that you can experience those feelings. That's the only way that you can experience and alchemize those sensations.
Yeah.
And also because of, right, the connection with other humans, because I don't believe when we're like beings of light or whatever floating around in the sky that we're like really connecting with others very much. I feel like we're probably very living a lonely existence. I'm guessing, I have no idea, but that connection is really important. How do you keep that connection alive as part of your relationship, but also part of your business?
It's our constant growth. It's our constant learning, and exploring curiosities together. We read books, we listen to podcasts, we talk about it. We don't watch shows. Dan, first of all, is a Virgo male. He,
My husband's a Virgo too.
yeah, and
And I should also say, by the way, not to interrupt you, but that you also
sure,
have a child. So I think that's
yes.
important to share too, because I don't
Mhm.
want people to think that like, oh, it's just you and Dan, like la la la. No, you're also parents and,
Yes.
on
We have
top
two
of all of
kids.
this.
Yes, we
And
have
that's
two
important.
kids. Yeah,
Yeah.
Dan came to the relationship with a kiddo. I came to the relationship with a kiddo. We have a beautiful blended family. Our oldest is launched and they live in Colorado and they're doing well and we just love, love, love them. And then we have Ivor, who's our son, who is a high school freshman and
I can't believe he's a
growing in,
freshman now.
I know. He's gonna be 15 years old. He's like getting a girlfriend. It's like a thing. It's like a whole thing. But we let it just kind of started part of with our we used to sit down and like, we would binge watch all of our shows and it was like our alone time at night. But then at one point I said, we're doing this, but I'm not talking to you.
No.
Like we're
And
sitting
you're
in the
probably also
same
scrolling your
room.
phone while you're looking at a
Yes.
screen.
We're snacking, we're binge watching, we're doom scrolling, we're sitting and he's like he's so lovey-dovey and affectionate with the hugs and the kisses, but he's not a cuddler. So like he's in this chair, I'm on the couch. Like we're not even touching for hours. And I'm like, and then we go to bed exhausted. And I'm like, no, this isn't working. So we started to subscribe to One Commune and Gaia and all these beautiful networks from various other teachers. And we just started to learn. And we would go through different things. Last winter was the winter of the gut microbiome. And
I
we learned everything and we changed things. So then we started to talk
was like, it's
about,
important actually.
oh my gosh. And then through that, he started his certification to become a nutritionist because he wanted to heal his own gut because, a lot of beer over the years
Men
doesn't,
have a lot of gut issues and don't realize it at all because it's
no.
masked with other things,
Well,
but
and
they have just as many as we do.
I think society says men are supposed to fart, you know? Like they're supposed to be like the Homer Simpson beer in hand gut bombs kind of thing. And it doesn't have to be.
No.
You do you, boo. But like there are things. So he on his ever, evolving mission to just be his best self, decided to go after the certification so that he can teach others as well. And he's a chef. He's a chef in the summer and a carpenter in the winter through his job. He works for a private club.
Oh, that's
So,
cool.
yeah, so he's working at creating programs within this club to heighten their nutritional offerings. So it's cool. But so thus the beginning of Walter Wellness. We started to spend time talking about
Together.
yes, actually talking, saying, "Oh, hi, handsome. I remember what you look like and what oh, you do have brown eyes. This is amazing." So we were doing that and we were talking and he started really getting into breath work, pranayama. He took his yoga teacher training because he felt through his breath work training that it wasn't enough and he felt like he needed to really truly understand pranayama um on a yogic level truly and a spiritual level, so he went and did that. So we're constantly getting new certifications, supporting each other through all of our curiosities, and then we come together and we talk about it and we support it. And I said, well, I have the well-being day spa, but it's really just massage. There's so much more to what we do. I'm now also certified in breathwork facilitating and meditation guidance and teaching and all of these other amazing things. I said, our offerings are a lot more vast than what I'm doing. And I think it's time to come together and do this together. And he was all for it. And so that is what was a catalyst for it.
I love that. That's really
Yeah.
beautiful that his whole journey sparked something for you too, right? I think that ripple effect is important because we think sometimes that maybe our own healing journey is selfish or that we are going to affect those around us because we choose to go do something with our lives. And yeah, you are, but it's going to be in a good way and it's going to hopefully be in a positive way because they are going to want, what you have, right? It's like, I'll
Yeah.
have what she's having. I see that she's radiant. I see that she's glowing. I see that, she's made these changes and it's making a difference. And I think obviously your kids see that too, right? They see the shift in both of
Yeah.
you and that just fuels things even more. What
Mhm.
would you say, as you've been on this spiritual journey and this path as a woman and a mom and you're moving through your own transitions of life. What has been, I don't know, the best advice that you have found to navigate all of these kind of transitions and changes of life and navigate the shedding and navigate, almost the death and rebirth cycle that women go through every
Yeah.
single month?
I think I could say three things. One, go for it. When you feel the urge to release something, when you find that things are not working and you're just butting up against that same doorway, but not opening that door, it's time to open the door and go for it. Huge. As a woman, um, be normalizing complaining, right? And I don't even like the word complaining or venting, just truly vocalizing the thoughts and the feelings and the emotions and what you're going through. Um, I think that's huge. Growing up as, the elder millennial, it was I grew up in a very much like a, if you got time to lean, you've got time to clean household where we were always do, do, do. We were not in our feelings. We didn't talk about things. I talked to my mom so much more as an adult than I ever did as a child. And I just held things. And it was like we weren't allowed to express, that's a better word. We weren't allowed to really, or we didn't feel like there was a safe space to express what we were truly going through. We just kind of had to be like, hey, there are people starving on the streets and you live in a big, beautiful home
Yeah,
that
like
has heat.
get over it.
Get
And you know what that
over
makes me
it.
think of like because I'm a millennial as well. We played in our rooms a lot. I was
Yeah.
always in my room playing. I didn't play in the living room. Whereas like my
No.
kids now, are you kidding me? They're all over the living room. They're all over the
Yeah.
fucking house. Like
Yes.
everything is theirs. Whereas like it was not like that for us growing
Yeah.
up. It was like you're gonna keep your shit in your room. Your feelings stay there. Your toys stay there. Like
Yeah.
don't bring that anywhere else in this house.
Ivor didn't have toys. Like when I he was a baby, like an infant, I was like, he's a blob. Why does he have toys? No, we don't need toys. And then he started to crawl. And we had I had some blocks and I had things and we talked about colors and numbers and we did the tactile things. But like I went to a friend's house and her living room was covered in toys. And I was like, oh my God, your house is so fun compared to my house. And also Ivor needs more stimulation. Toys are a thing. Like we get our kids toys and she's like, yeah, you put them on, they crawl around, they play with the things, they feel the things. It's more than blocks, Lindsay. I'm like, oh shit. Oh my God. So, but I lived in a clean house with like the toys weren't present. They were in my room.
Yeah.
They were
But you
in my
learn
room.
like
Yes.
there's so many things of momhood that I feel bad for my firstborn. I'm like, "Ooh, you're my training wheels." Like,
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah, totally, totally. But this summer I found myself in such extreme burnout that
Oh,
I
I'm sorry
was,
to hear that.
yeah, I was suicidal. And like,
Lindsay.
yeah, it was really dark and deep, right? So again, I had forgotten my tools. I wasn't using my tools. And Dan is such a safe, my first husband was, I didn't feel safe. I am no longer that marriage, but Dan is such a safe person for me to talk to that I started to tell him what was going on in my head. It was I'm not going to leave this earth. I'm meant to be here right now. I don't have plans. But when I say, oh, I should do the dishes to myself, then something else in my brain goes, or just go die. Just go die. That's better. Just go die.
Wow,
So
intrusive
it
thoughts. And is
bad.
this I mean, was this the first time you've experienced it this badly and you've had them before
This
or
bad. I had
okay.
had them before. got on meds, was feeling great. But it was one of those things where, and this is that normalizing expressing what you're going through. I didn't know that it was okay to say, hey, I'm not okay. We need to do something because I'm very much not okay. And will you help me navigate this time to figure out where I need to go next?
Exactly. And it doesn't make you weak at all. Actually, it makes
No.
you so strong. And those
Yes.
intrusive thoughts are not normal, guys, because
Oh, no, they're
and we
not.
think they are. Like I did experience some after having my oldest Sebastian. I had bad postpartum anxiety, and I didn't
Mm,
know that that's what it was. I just thought that the thought of walking down the stairs carrying my baby, what if I throw him over? What if I
yeah,
trip and fall? What if
yeah,
he, like why the fuck what? Why am
yeah.
I thinking of that? I'm not gonna throw my baby over the
Right.
railing. Like
Oh my God.
what?
Yes.
But your
Yeah.
brain says crazy shit.
Your
Like,
brain says crazy shit.
like
Yeah. But so this is that normalcy. Really know that it's okay to as you're going through it, right? We're all kind of
Mhm.
going through it right now, and it's okay. And I think that we're like, oh, but everyone's going through it. So, like, you're not special. It is 100% okay to be like, hey, so things need to change. And it could be your spouse, it could be your mom, it could be a friend, it could be another group, like playtime mommy group friend. Like, it doesn't matter who your safe person to chat with is. But so I started to actually allow myself to release the guilt of expressing what I was going through. So I just went, first of all, just go for it. Go through the thing. When you want to make changes, make those changes, express what you're going through, and ask for help. I like Dan anticipates my needs like you wouldn't believe. Like people are like, "Oh, I have a honey-do list." First of all, I don't because Dan makes his own list and he just builds things. He puts things on the wall. He folds the laundry. Like, he just whatever it is that I need, I come home and dinner is cooked. The kitchen is clean. It doesn't matter. We're very gender neutral in our home and don't have his or her chores. We call
Do
our
the
home a
chores. Yeah.
yeah, we call our home a community. So whatever the community needs, we do. But yeah, I didn't really realize that I could ask him for help because he already does the help before I've ever really needed to ask. But I
Mm.
got to a place where I was like, honey, will you help me? Will you help me?
It's vulnerable, and you think that you have been vulnerable with your spouse before, or I have thought that in the past.
Yeah.
But those moments, because you're literally like, I'm laying this all out, and you could reject
Yes.
this. You could act not the way that I want you to. And thankfully, my husband is also my safe space because we chose kings, not little
Yes.
froggies.
Yep.
But I digress. But I want to acknowledge that it is really vulnerable, and it can be really hard, even if you have a good relationship, to be
Yes.
able to share these things because they need to be said also because your husband, your spouse, your partner, what doesn't matter if they're male or female,
Yeah.
cannot read your mind.
Right.
And actually, their perception is going to be very different than yours. They have a very different perception of reality. And that has been the biggest thing for me lately is to realize that our perceptions are different and taking those
Oh,
moments to go, oh, wait, 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 wait. Why are they different? Because
yeah.
I see something very, and you have to come back to together and say, oh, I'm looking at that through my wounding. Oh, I'm looking at that because actually I'm cranky. I didn't get enough sleep, blah, blah, blah. Like it takes that communication and that coming back together. And I think that's really important, which I'm sure leads you to the third thing you were going to say that we keep not getting to because I keep cutting you off.
Oh, that's okay. And guess what? I forgot it. I think it had something to do. No, it
The
was the
first two are
asking
really
for
fucking
help.
strong. So you're
No,
good.
it was the asking for help.
Okay.
Yes. Because whatever, and even if that means, hey, I want to start a business. Hey, I want to go on vacation. Hey, I need this in my life. Um, Ask for help doing it. I'm the middle child, so I'm like over independent at times. So asking for anything. So when I realized I'm in a really deep, dark place, it was walk through that door, make that change. And something's got to give. And what is it? And that was when I said, massage has to go. I don't know when, but it has to go and I need to work for it. And Dan said, absolutely, yes, it does. So I said, okay. And so we had talked about the refillery like in the spring, like maybe March. And I was like, but I don't think this is the right time. And he's like, and as soon as I came home and I said, honey, guess what I thought about? He was on board. He's on board. He's sending me things. He's making things on
He's probably
Pinterest.
already building you the bus, like, and the thing.
He's doing all of the things. And so I'm like, yeah, we're doing it. But then he's like, and I mean, he was looking at 5-gallon drums or 55-gallon drums, and we were pricing and we were budgeting and doing all the building the business plan things. But then we said, I don't really think this is the right time. Let's table this. It doesn't feel like this is the right time. So then in June, end of June, July. I mean, I launched this July 19th, and I think I started ordering at the very end of June. So I think maybe mid-June, I was like, this is happening. And I said, I think this is the time. This is what I'm going to do instead. And he said, love that for you. How can I help? And so now, as we're going through this journey, so that was that opening the door, that was that vocalizing, that was that asking for help. And now Walter Wellness is evolving because by the end of the summer, he was like, I'm burnt out from work. I feel disconnected. I don't feel like
That ripple
this.
effect. Oh, wait
Yeah.
a second.
Oh, he's like, I think I burnt, that match. I'm at the end of my matchstick. I need to take some time from Walter Wellness. I can't think about breath work. I can't think about things right now. I need to reconnect with me and think about how I want to go forward. So I said, sure. So working together, we're not 9-to-5ers. We ebb and flow in our responsibilities. He's Mr. Research. I'm Miss Do. I love to chat. He will chat, but he prefers to be the fly on the wall. So he does a lot of
It's that
behind.
nice little like yin yang balance.
Yes.
What is his human design?
Good question. I don't remember. We did this for him, but I don't remember what it is. Wait,
No, that would be just interesting to
I think
see.
he's just a generator. I don't think he's manifesting generator. I think he's
But
just a
that's perfect
generator.
because then he's the person you can
He's,
pass stuff to. You're like,
yes,
okay, I got the idea. You go do it.
yes,
I got the
yes.
idea. You go do it.
Uh-huh.
I love
Yes.
that. But
So,
it's so good to see though that the tools work, first of all, right?
yes.
But
Right. The
also
free
just to
tools. Keep coming back to them.
like, but that our lives are such what I can't even think of the word I'm looking for, but that like really that our lives are spiritual and they are a business and everything is all the same, right? And so when you make those big strides in your personal life, it's going to make strides for you in your business and vice versa, and that energy is continuously feeding one another, and that really coming back to it is important. And I wanted to make sure to mention too that the talking to the guides piece, because I think that's a
Mm.
good takeaway for folks that, even if you're not as woo woo perhaps as Lindsay and I are, maybe you're like, the Akashic records are weird. Like, I wish you'd stop
Yeah.
talking about it, Victoria. Sorry, I'll never stop talking about it.
Never
But
again. They are us. We
but
are
what you
them.
can do is the exact thing that Dan did when you are struggling, when you are unsure of your next step, when you need some support, ask your guides. Ask your guides, ask your angels, ask your ancestors, because you
Yes.
do have a spirit team out there to support you, and it's like any relationship, right? It's going to grow when you put time into it. It's going to grow when you ask. You have to ask for support. You have so many people out there ready to support you, but if you don't ask for it, if you don't walk through that door, if you don't vocalize what you need, even to your spirit team, they cannot help you because they cannot
Mhm.
interfere because we have free will. So
Yeah.
you have to ask. And that can be as dramatic as falling to your knees and surrender. I mean, that's what I did after my miscarriage. It could be by yourself in the woods. It could literally be while you're washing dishes, being like, please, please help me. Any other advice or thoughts on that? But I wanted people to have that little kind of takeaway, that nugget that, like, again, everything is already free and inside of you. And if for any reason you forget, you do have a
Mhm.
team that can help you remember.
I always say, pay attention to what drops in and believe it. It's that
Yes.
believing piece, right? So, I will have clients that will say, "Well, I asked for guidance and I asked to see a peacock and then I saw a sticker on a water bottle of a peacock as
But
an
that can't be it.
affirmation that I'm around, but I mean, why would it be there? So I don't think that was it." And I'm like,
You don't need a signier sign.
Believe it. Believe it. You know? Well, something was called peacock blue, but I don't know if that was it. Girlfriend, yes, it was. It was peacock blue. They're there, and you've asked for a sign, an affirmation that your guides are around you. You vocalized what that sign is. You called that in. They showed up. What else do you want? So I always say just believe. And on top of that, the more you act on the guidance you receive, the more abundant and the more clear that guidance will be for you because you're building that relationship. You are answering a call. I always say your guides are there for you. They've chosen you, your ancestors, whom your angel team. It doesn't matter. They love you so much, and all they want to do is help you to live your divine purpose in this life. So when you call on them, they're there. So when you get that guidance, whatever clair it is that you receive your guidance through, clairsentience, clairvoyance, um, receive it, believe it, and act on it. And it'll be amazing how fast
Things
that
can
can,
shift like this.
it's
And it's
amazing.
the action piece too that maybe people get caught up in, but it doesn't have to be a big action. Like perfect
No.
example, I mean it took me a year to do this, so maybe it's not the best example of doing it quickly, but I heard the word Magenta Heart Productions about a year ago after I went to a Rose Priestess retreat. And I bought the LLC and I've been kind of doing things under Magenta Heart Productions, but I just finally realized and put a website up like yesterday because I was like, oh, that's all the podcasting I've been doing, the website design I've been doing, like all these other behind the scenes things. Well, so I put that up and said, okay, universe, this is my like, yes. Okay, I hear your sign. I'm going to follow the sign. I'm going to get this up. Immediately last night, there was a speaking opportunity that like came up that was like, bing.
Yeah.
Okay. But it was very subtle, and it's a speaking opportunity that I saw because I was scrolling Instagram. And so someone might say, oh, you're scrolling Instagram. Like, that's not it.
It's energetic.
It speaks through
It's,
Instagram too, bitch. Like,
yes. Yes. It's whatever the delivery system is that you choose, it drops in. It drops in. I will tell my funny story about how everything came to be because it falls right in line with what you just said. So I was dying for balance in my life. This was years ago. This was like 2017. Um, and it was a beautiful spring day in northern Michigan, like which means that there weren't as many snow mounds out. And all of a sudden it was like, you need to go for a walk. So I was like, okay, I guess we're going for a walk. It is beautiful. I've got time. So I got on my shoes and I went for a walk. And here I am walking, doing my hot girl mental health walk that I love. And it dropped in, you should listen to a podcast. I had never, 2017, podcasts are not, especially pre-COVID, podcasts were just,
no.
I mean, Joe Rogan, of course, but like, that's about it. So I put on
And when
a
we say dropped in too, I want people to realize like you had a thought.
I had a thought.
Yeah. But
I
that's
had a
really what
thought.
it is. Like when you're being guided, it is a thought that comes in your own voice, that
Yeah.
is from your own mind. Like I think most of you maybe know that if you're listening to me right now, but just in case you don't.
Yes. Although when my guides talk to me, they have four different voices.
Oh, I
Male.
forgot. Yeah, you have all the group.
Yeah, I've got the four corners and they're, yes, they're male, they're different. They're fabulous. Love them so much. But anyway, so yes, that's what was dropped in, but I do hear my own voice too. So I know when it's them versus them.
Yeah.
But anyway, so it was, put on a podcast and I was like, okay. Literally on my iPhone, opened the Apple podcast app, didn't know anything else. I don't think I'd even like downloaded anything. Was Spotify a thing in 27? I don't even know.
I don't know.
Maybe
Actually, now
if
that
it
you say
was,
that.
I'm like, we're pre-Google here, so
I
like
know.
who knows? It's
We're from like the
hilarious.
MySpace days when I used to like personally
Oh,
code my own like AIM profile. Like no wonder I'm
yes.
designing websites today. Like,
Yeah.
of course.
Oh, I had like Coach purses as my background. And when I was mad at someone, they were out of my top 6 or top 10 or whatever. Oh,
Oh my God,
yes.
did you make those little Barbies where it was like you could do their heads and their clothes and their pants? Was that just
No, I
me?
wasn't that cool.
Oh
No,
my
I
God, those
wasn't
things
that
were
cool.
so fun. Anyway, I digress.
So, yeah. So here I am. I'm listening So I open up the podcast app, right? And it's like, now what? So I just put in like spiritual podcast and I chose the podcast based on the art because I had no idea. And it was Ksenia Abdulova. Then she's been married, she's changed her name. So I cannot tell you who it is now. Her name is Ksenia and she's fabulous. But she had on an Akashic Records reader and who also went by Ashley, but now she has a new name, so I don't know what her name is now
Oh,
either.
Align Within, that one,
Yes,
right?
Align
Yeah, yeah,
Within.
yeah.
Yes, 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 yes. So, but I put it on, here I am, just I'm taking action on the guidance I'm receiving. That's what I'm doing. And as I'm taking action, this guidance is more clear, more abundant. Do this, do this, do this. Yes, you're right. As soon as Ashley started talking about the Akashic Records, I came home to myself. Like, I'm just gonna say it, it was almost like orgasmic.
Yeah. Like a
The
Kundalini
feeling,
awakening almost.
it was yes, it was exactly a Kundalini awakening. It was, I'm on a walk and I am like, oh my God, I know this. And I'm walking and she's talking and I am like, yes, yes. I'm like, yes, all of this. I know this.
Yep. It feels right in my
I'm
body. This is true. This is true.
Yes. And I was like, I know these words. I know what she's saying. I know how to do it. I know this. And I came home and I was like, Dan, you'll never guess. Oh God, he's so used to me now. But this was also a little, I don't know, whatever. We were living together, so we'd been together for a couple of years.
Yeah.
But I was like, it's called the Akashic Records, and I'm gonna learn everything, and I'm gonna get the books, and I'm gonna like get all of the things, and I'm gonna learn how to do this again because I know I already know how to do it. And he was like, love that for you. Yep, do it.
Check. And if you had never done that, then you never would have like
Oh,
fallen down the rabbit hole, gone down this path, like done all
yes.
of these amazing things. I've loved this conversation. Is there anything that you want to leave the Flip the Script with Vic listeners with? And then of course, please share where they can find you, what you've got going on and all that good stuff. But
Sure,
I would
sure,
love for
sure.
them to leave with just some words of Lindsay wisdom.
Yes. Okay. So then I'll start with where to find me and then I'll finish with my words. So you can find me at walterwellness.com and mymobilerefillery.com. I do ship nationwide. It's MI for Michigan, mymobilerefillery.com. You'll find all my socials, all my stuff through there. I'm on Instagram, I'm everywhere. So those are the two places to find me. I hope that you do. Please connect. Um, my words of wisdom to part this also, Victoria, I love you so much. Thank you for
I
this
love you.
lovely convo.
It's such a good conversation.
Yes.
My- the joy that I've been getting from doing these, I don't think people realize it's been really fun. I admire and love and talk to all the women that I've been like recording with, but to get to have this dedicated time to just be in your energy and be with you has been really special. So
Oh,
thank
yeah.
you too.
Likewise. Thank you. Thank you. But my parting words for anyone who is listening, watching on YouTube, that as either Victoria and I talked today, if you found yourself nodding your head, as I did on my Hot Girl Mental Health Walk, as we all do, if there was something that truly resonated with you, sit with that, journal it, get pen and paper to get it down so you don't forget. I'm getting chills as I'm saying this, but really pay attention and again, take action on whatever it is. And Victoria's here to support you. I'm here to support you. Whatever it is you need, you have guidance, you have people that will help you. So open that door, take the guidance, ask for help, and it's amazing what will happen. So as you're nodding your head, pay attention to those nods.
Yes, the nods mean something. Your body is always, always, always talking to you.
Yes.
Lindsay, oh, thank you so much. Your
Thank
journey is just
you.
so beautiful. And Dan too is an inspiration for what can happen when you start to listen to that intuition, when you open yourself up to change from the universe and you
Yeah.
really take that action and go for it. I know that action can be really scary for some people, but those little actions add up. And actually, that's what you are such a good example of, is that over time, little by little, those little things are really what make a life and what make you radiant and grounded. And so please, please, please go find Lindsay. If you guys are in Michigan, call up, I guess, or find the mobile refillery, order online. I'm like, I don't know. Do you go door to door?
Yes, I do. I'm the milkman for like non-toxic sustainable living supplies
Oh
for
my God,
home
I
and
love that.
body. Yeah, you put your
Yes.
jars out and I fill them.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
Yeah.
So please, please, if you are in Michigan, reach out, mymobilerefillery.com. Thank you guys so much for being here. Be good to one another. I'll see you next week.
Mwah. Thank you.